the Allies were always going to get ashore on D-Day. The question was always, I think, what was going to happen in the next 72 to 96 hours? Could the Germans bring up their reinforcements fast enough? Could the Allies get their supplies, keep the supply lines open to get reinforcements ashore? And to me, what is, I think, so fascinating, and I talk a little bit about this in the book as well, I think D-Day stands as one of the most interesting examples and case studies in leadership that we have in history. Leadership at the top and leadership at the bottom. And that the first third of this book is really all about the big names. It is Roosevelt and Churchill and Ike and Montgomery and the planners and, this story of the Allies and the British learning to cooperate and work together as allies, which I think is this fascinating story in and of itself. And then at H hour, 6:30 a.m. on Tuesday, June 6th, there is nothing any of those big names can do to influence the outcome of D-Day any longer. And that the story of D-Day's success itself is the leadership and the training that kicks in with these corporals and sergeants and lieutenants who bring this new style of warfare to the Germans that is sort of imaginative and innovative and entrepreneurial, where they sort of are able to make decisions on the fly and adjust their orders because they sort of think that they see an opportunity that, wasn't anticipated. And that the whole day really turns on these little decisions and these little examples of leadership among small groups of men, made at sea, made in the landing craft, made on shore, made in the air. And that what you see that coming up against is the German model of leadership, which is, this top-down, hierarchical, sort of Hitler-centric, confused chain of command, where you have a whole system that really doesn't encourage a lot of innovative, out-of-the-box thinking. Like, there is not a lot to be said for the job prospects of a particularly innovative German leader, short of Hitler. And so the Germans sort of spend all day in this paralysis, waiting for orders from Hitler, waiting to commit to their reinforcements. And, but for, the fact that Hitler sort of sleeps really late on D-Day and no one is willing to wake him up, the Germans aren't able to actually launch their sole counterattack of D-Day until about 4 p.m. on the afternoon of June 6th, by which point it is far too late for the Germans to dislodge the forces at the beach.